Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, #moviebae. I am moviebae, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a recap review over the newest episodes of The Mole Season 2 that is on Netflix. But before we get into it though, between episodes 6 through 8. But before we get into it though, I would like for y'all to drop down and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Because here at Movie Bay, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television. And if that is the type of content that you like, you might as well stick around and hit the subscribe button. And if you find yourself enjoying my commentary along the way, don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up and or drop a comment down below. If you are new to my YouTube channel, I'm very organized. If you're interested, view my playlist, especially because you are here for a reality competition show. And I have those. So I have a whole category for reality competition shows. Oh, it's gonna play some. Hold on. Don't play though. Where I have The Traitors, Big Brothers, Squid Games, all of the seasons of The Circle, minus the first one, I believe. I did The Trust. I do it's a new female rap competition show on WeTV called Deb's House. I do that too. Okay. So if you are into reality competition shows, especially, this is where you need to be. This is where you need to be. Look no further. Now, let's go ahead without further ado, and we're going to get into this review. But honestly, I feel like I owe someone an apology. Like I stated, I'm going to be doing a review over episodes 6 through 8. So if you haven't seen 6 through 8, you might want to be a part of the replay game because we spoiling, all right? And that's exactly why I need to start off by saying I apologize, Q. I apologize, Q. As you can tell, I got trust issues. Everything that glitters in my head, everything that glitters ain't gold. Okay, everything that green ain't your friend. But some people are really just genuinely good people. Now, when episode 5 went off, my suspects were the following. I did my little thing on the screen. I see my little emojis and stuff. Okay, bet. So up until episode 5, how's my sound? Do I sound good? Let me check real quick. Up until episode 5. Okay, yeah. Okay, bet. Up until episode 5, though, we have lost Andy, Jen, Melissa, and Tony. Not in that order. My primary suspects: Deanna, Quinn, and Niche. Now, last video, I said Niche was my prime suspect because he put himself in a leadership role, which is a trustworthy role. Okay. I said that Quinn was a suspect because he would be the perfect mole because no one expects him. He's all gung-ho for the group, adding to the pot. So, and he could just let the group sabotage themselves because with this group of people, they're going to sabotage themselves. And then we have Deanna. Now, I chose Deanna as like my backup because she's quiet, she's nice, and she literally follows along. First episode, she said she was a follower. So as a mole, you don't want to be that person that's in the spotlight. You do want to be the person that's kind of low key. So at the end of episode 5, these were my 3 primary suspects. I know in the video I said Michael. I lied. I don't know what in my brain said Michael. I lied. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started into episode 6, y'all. Episode 6. The crew had one of their social moral challenges. Okay, they had 59.5 in the pot. Nobody bid on the first option. Can't even remember what the first option was. Put it in the comment section. Nobody bid on the second option, which was a correction on an exam. But everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody, bid on the third option, which was an exemption. And when episode 5 went off, we found out that somebody bid the entire pot, $59,500 on one exemption. Okay. Immediately, my thoughts were, it's not the mole. It's only, to me, the person who took the money out would be the mole if it was going to be an anonymous bid. I don't think the mole would be that bold to take all the money out of the pot in front of everybody's faces. So episode 6 comes back on and we find out who exactly is responsible for taking that money out of the pot. Everybody is pissed off except for Niche. Niche is not pissed off at all. Okay. I think Deanna's crying. Muna's upset. Even Sean is kind of like fidgeting in his seat. Hannah's upset. I think Hannah's only upset because she's somebody outsmarted her, honestly, if I'm being honest. And of course, Q was upset. But Niche, they kept cutting the camera back to him. And I was like, it was him. I know it was him. Because he had no expression on his face. So Ari asked, does anybody want to own up to who made the bid for the exemption? And Ari puts his hand up. I mean, not Ari. Niche puts his hand up. And I said, I'm not surprised though. Because I knew it. Because when the episode went off, he was like, I'm tired of being nice. It's time for me to play selfishly. But the whole pot though. See, if I was on this game, what I would have done, I don't even think I would have bet for the exemption because I know that this group is selfish. Everybody gonna go for the exemption. I definitely would have probably spent like $1,000 on a correction. Okay. I would have did that. I would have done that. Because I knew everybody's gonna go for the exemption. And he bet the entire pot. So are you surprised by this? Did you think Niche was gonna be the one to take all the money? I did. Based off of his commentary, I did anyhow. But if I didn't have his commentary, I definitely would have thought I wouldn't have put it past Hannah or Muna to bet that much money. And then, y'all, what pissed me off? As y'all could tell by my thumbnail, where's my thumbnail? How do I get out of this? My thumbnail, it says, let me stop sharing this real quick. Oh, great. Now my big old face is in the way. But basically it says, from selfish to self-righteous. The nerve of this group. Now all of a sudden, oh, I can't believe it. Why would you take all the money? All the money though? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bro, y'all have literally been making selfish moves the entire game. Are y'all really surprised? And I don't even know if it was in this particular setting. I don't think it was this one. I think it was like later on in the game. Niche was like, well, let's be honest. Muna, Hannah, y'all started this selfish streak. And they real life did. And they're the primary ones, the main ones that are mad. Muna, you chose one correction on the first day over adding money to the pot. Hannah, the second day, you and Tony sat there draining the pot out for how much money? Like $30,000? And y'all real life mad that he did the same thing that y'all did? I think what Hannah and Muna are mad about is the fact that somebody outbid them. Because I'm pretty sure that their numbers were high as well. I wonder why Ari didn't explain who all the bids. I want to know all the bids. Well, anyhow, what's my next slide, child? Okay. Well, anyhow, after this, they have to take a quiz, and Q has been thrown for a loop. His primary ally, who was Niche and Sean, that's that man's name? Yeah, Niche and Sean. He's just surprised by Niche being the one who took all the money out the pot. So now it's time to take the quiz, and unfortunately, Q is the one that goes home. Q is the one that goes home. When I tell y'all, that's why I say I have to start this video off with an apology. Because when Q went home, I was like, no. That's one of my primary suspects. That means I'm wrong. I was pissed. Herman Mo says Niche should have kept it to himself. I agree if it was an option. I don't even know if keeping it to himself was an option. But if so, then yeah, he definitely should have kept it to himself. Because, yeah. Just leave everybody wondering. Nobody can trust nobody. Like, they can't anyways. But, yeah, so I had to start this video off by apologizing to Q because I did state that if I'm wrong, like about his emblem, his necklace, him using that as like to garner votes and what's what I'm looking for? Not respect, trust from other people, then I apologize. And apparently he was the real deal. Okay, so I apologize. However, and I think that's how episode 6 end like episode 6 didn't end like that. But when everybody was like, you can never explain what's gonna happen next, and then Q sits back down in the confessional, I said, oh, there's still a chance that he's the mole. I was so excited. I was like, it's just a production twist. It's just a production twist. So Q comes back in the game. Well, for a chance to come back in the game, but it's left up to his group members to vote him back in. And if they do vote Q back into the game, the group will get $20,000 to their zero prize fund. So you would think everybody would vote him back in for the $20,000, right? Wrong. So Ryan, Niche, Michael, and Sean all vote for Q not to come back. However, Hannah, Muna, and Deanna vote for Q to come back. So Q comes back. However, Ari tells him, you have to guess how many people voted you to stay and how many people voted you to go home. All right. So to my surprise, Q just asked. He was like, who voted for me to stay, to come back in the competition? And Muna, Hannah, and Deanna raised their hands. And then like 10 seconds later, Michael raises his hand and Sean raises his hand. I said, oh, y'all just... These men here, bro, these men here are dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. So now he has to, well, I think Deanna and Muna were like, no, they're lying. So eventually, Muna was like, look, we don't have that much time. I'm going to tell you what it is. Me, Hannah, and Deanna, because I already told the group prior to Q coming, we voted for you to come back. Everybody else voted for you to go home. Now, Q was having a hard time believing it because him and Sean, like, they like this. Like, they could get turned to girlfriends. So he's like teetering. He doesn't know if he should trust Muna because if y'all didn't know, Q has been voting for Muna, that was revealed last episode, to be the mole, or I guess a majority of his answers. Or he really thinks that she is the mole. Like, that's his primary suspect. All right. So he doesn't know if he should trust her. But yet Sean, who he's been trusting the whole game, didn't want him to come back. That's crazy. Let's talk about this, though. Oh, long story short, he decides to go with Muna, and because she gave a look that reminded him of his mom, like a I'm not playing, I'm for real look. So he decides to go with Muna, and he is now back into the game. Now, I want to talk about this, though. What would y'all have voted for? Would y'all have voted Q to come back in the game or not? Because in my personal opinion, let's balance, right? If he comes back into the game, then he knows who is not. Because evidently he voted wrong. And I think I feel like Q pushed his votes toward Niche because of what happened with the bidding of the prize pot. And that's what sent him home. Okay. Now, so a bad thing is he knows who is not. But on top of that, he still doesn't know who it is. Like, he still doesn't know who the mole is. So he's kind of like back at square one. And it's still so many people in the game at this point that just narrowing down one person is like, who cares? But also, since Q went home, everybody knows that he's not the mole, right? So that's one person off of their suspect list too. So, I mean, it kind of helps. I don't think nobody really expected him to be the mole anyways, but I don't know. I kind of felt like it was neither here nor there. If he came back, I don't really think he had much of an advantage. He just would know who it's not. But he still had to weed out everybody else like everybody else had to. Q coming back into the game was very similar to Dom coming back into the game on season 1. If you watch season 1, Dom, surprisingly, because if you watch Perfect Match 2, It's like you really can't even believe it. But Dom was like the crowd favorite on season 1, and he went home early and he had an opportunity to come back into the game. Their group though voted him not to come back into the game. But on season 2, Q was that well-liked person that went home, and he ended up being able to come back into the game. So now that Q is back, all right, and Sean is a liar, just lying straight to his face. Now we have the challenge. Okay, I'm not gonna go too much into details on this challenge, but let's talk about what it is, and let's talk about who did shady-ish. Okay, so we have a challenge where they have to solve. Essentially, they have to solve 3 riddles. They kind of have to solve 4, but if they solve 3, they have a better chance at getting the last one. Okay, so they have to split up on Team River, which is Sean, Muna, Dina, and Q, and then Team Rope, which is everybody else, child. All right, so I honestly suck at riddles. So I would have, a lot of it was like find the pattern. I said, oh hell, I would have been out. I would be like, y'all, I'm sorry, I can't contribute to the group. I can lead us through the cave, but I am not gonna be any help here, because when I tell y'all, I like to play the games with the people. I didn't get not one of them questions right, except for the last one when it talked about the idol of Malaysia, and I feel like that was easy. But we'll get to that in a minute. So Trust You First says, I thought Q was the mall. Girl, me too. Or boy, me too. I thought he was the most so bad, because it just would have been perfect. Netflix cast me for season 3. I just thought it would have been so perfect for him to be the mole. And nobody was expecting him. But we just obviously Trust You First. We just have trust issues. Ironically, your name, right? We just have trust issues, obviously. But let's talk about who did shady stuff in the challenge. All right. So if on Team River, Q is now suspicious of everybody because he had an alliance with Niche, and Niche took all the prize pot money. Okay, now I don't know about that. I don't know about it now. But he's suspicious of Niche because Niche took all the prize pot. Sean lied straight to his face, and Muna, the person who he has been suspecting the whole time, is now somebody he can trust. So Q is suspicious of everybody. All right. Between the oh, okay. So at the very end stage, they have to choose, because it's 4 emblems. They got 2 questions right, one of which Sean spearheaded with the how many squares are in the child. When I tell you I had how many squares are in this square or whatever the heck, Sean was so gung-ho that the answer was 36. So everybody was like, yeah, sure, yeah. And they got that one wrong. Keep that in mind, Shawnee boy. And then at the very end, they have 4 emblems, right? So they got 2 of the riddles correct. So now they have a 50-50 chance on picking the correct emblem, the idol of Malaysia. So Muna is like, Malaysia, tiger, it has to be the tiger. And Sean is saying, oh, it's something about this. What was it, y'all? Like a fish, a bird, or something? It's just speaking to me. It's speaking to me. Everybody's like, no, are you stupid? So Deanna and Muna say the tiger. Sean is saying whatever other animal. So now Q is the deciding factor, and he goes with the tiger. All right. Then on let me do this one right here. Bird. Okay, so bird. But Muna knew the answer for the square problem. They just didn't want to listen to her. Oh, she had the right answer? Okay, because I know there was like a majority of them saying 36, but yeah, Sean definitely spearheaded getting that one wrong. That's what I put in my notes. He definitely was loud and wrong. That's why I was like, bro, I'm not getting none of these riddles. Find the pattern. And Muna is like a math whiz. I mean, that's coming from me, somebody who math is like my weakest subject. But on these past 3 episodes, Muna was killing it with the math game. Okay. What is her job, y'all? Y'all remember what Muna's job is? I wrote down Hannah's for a later thing, but I don't know what Muna's is. So for the other group, team O, yeah, and in the river team, Deanna was hyperventilating because she is claustrophobic. All right, so on the rope team, Hannah did something that was really suspicious to me. At the very end, their decision was between the tiger or the fish, and Niche was saying the tiger for just common sense to me. We're in Malaysia, bro. Like all these other animals mean nothing, okay? And Hannah is like, oh, I don't trust you. You took all the money, so we're going with fish. Y'all already know. I don't really see it for Hannah. I don't really see it for Hannah. So that just really, really made me mad because, in my personal opinion, the tiger out of those just made the most common sense. And that, I mean, as a viewer, we saw all the options and all the quizzes were the same, but tiger was just like the most one that just made the common sense. So they ended up getting $40,000 in a pot from zero. So now, because they brought Q back, so $20,000. So now they got $60,000 in the pot. Okay, so now at the end of the episode, they have to take the quiz. All right, and it's down to y'all. It is down to. Can y'all believe it? It is down to my 3 primary suspects. Everybody else gets a green light. Hannah gets a green light. Michael gets a green light. Sean, Ryan, Muna, everybody gets a green light. And my 3 primary suspects, they are the ones that haven't gotten the green light yet. I was like, oh man, bro, my whole theory is about to go down the toilet. Who is gonna go home? Y'all would never believe who went home. Y'all would never believe it. Q goes home again. I was like, bro, what the? I was like, he can't go home again. He can't go home again. Now, this time when he was leaving, bro, that was just so, that was horrible. Imagine getting eliminated back to back. We were rooting for you, Q. We were all rooting for you, regardless if Q was the mole or if Q was just a really genuine player. I feel like everybody was rooting for Q, honestly. But, nice guys finished last, according to Niche. Q should have played the game better. And for this one, Q does admit that he spread his answers out amongst the entire group because he just did not know. Okay. And that's what Hannah said. Hannah was like, I didn't care about bringing him back because now that he knows who it's not, he's going to be second guessing himself. And it's going to be basically, he's going to eliminate himself again, in which he did. So let's go ahead and go to episode 7. Episode 7, Q goes home. All right, so this challenge here, they have to split up into groups, and they have to, well, first off, I would say this. Last challenge, they had to split up into 2 groups. I personally didn't like that because I can't see what the other people are doing. So people are putting themselves into groups so they can get next to their suspects. But at the same time, I want to see what everybody is doing. There needs to be a way where we can still all communicate and see each other whoop-de-whoop, right? So I can know who's doing what when. Now, my only problem with episode 7 is they separate into 3 different groups. Okay. Not a problem. Like, this is a good thing about episode 7. They separate into 3 different groups, but they all still kind of had to come back together at the end and communicate with each other. All right. That's how, in my personal opinion, it should be. All right. Since I thought it was Q2, the way I was back and forth about him as the mole, but my suspects are now Ryan, Mike, and maybe Deanna as a sleeper. Ryan, Mike. We can agree on when I get to the end. I'm gonna tell y'all my my new suspects, because as of now, I'm down to 1. If y'all know, y'all know, I'm down to 1 because I had my 3 primary suspects was Deanna, Niche, and Q. Q is now gone. So in this challenge, Muna and Hannah work together, and both of them beast. They defused their little bomb or whatever. Can I say that on YouTube, child? With 20 minutes to spare. Okay, when I tell y'all, that's why I was like, Math Whiz, they was do this and pour this and this and that. When I tell you, I would have immediately looked at that conversion chart and been like, I need a clue. When I tell y'all, I would have looked at that conversion chart and been like, I need a clue because I don't do math at all. So they get finished no problem. Sean, Nisha, and Deanna, they are struggling. Sean is like me. Sean wants to, well, actually, hold on. Sean goes into this challenge saying he wants people to think he is sabotaging the challenge so they can vote for him on the quiz. So he is continuously asking them to use a clue for 5K. And Nisha's like, hold on. I'm close. I'm about to figure it out. And Nisha does eventually end up figuring it out. Ryan and Michael, however, struggle bus. They are me. Struggle bus. Okay. It gets down to the last 2 minutes and they finally get to open up their suitcase, their detonator or whatever. Now, here's my problem. And this is where people started acting suspicious to me. Hannah and Muna. I feel like they were both being impatient. I've crossed out Muna. I do not think Muna is the mole, like, whatsoever. I really don't. I just really don't. I just feel like she was a selfish player at the beginning. I don't see her as the mole. Ooh, watch I be wrong. Ooh. I just don't see her as the mole though. And she was too excited to play the mole. Like, she would have been like too obvious of a choice for the audience, especially. And she's not playing that role. Like in her interview, she said, "I would lean into the Muslim stereotype," and I don't think she's doing that. She's very vocal and outgoing, and like she's not leaning into that stereotype at all. Okay, so I don't think Muna is the mole. Hannah though. Hannah was acting so impatient. She was like, okay, well, we're going to forget this group. And she talking to Nisha and Sean and them. And she was like, what wires do y'all have? What wires do we have? Y'all should cut this one and we're going to cut this one. And I'm like, bro, I feel like somebody should have been like, just wait. Just wait. They got like 10 minutes, bro. They have 10 minutes left. Chill out. Probably when we're down to like the last 5 minutes, I would definitely give it probably the last 3 minutes for sure. If they still haven't contacted us on a walkie-talkie, then we could talk about wires to cut. I mean, like, start cutting wires. I felt like she was just really too eager to jump the gun. So with that being said, Sean and them, Sean, Nisha, and Deanna, they cut the wrong wire. They cut red, and it's an explosion. So now Hannah and Muna know, okay, it's time. So that means red is ours. So they cut red, no explosion. All right. Now, Michael and Ryan finally get on the walkie-talkie with like 3 minutes to spare, probably like a little bit under 2, or a little bit under 3. And y'all tell me, do y'all think Michael really sabotaged this challenge? Because to me, the instructions were clear. They were talking a lot. But they told them to cut blue, and he cut yellow. I was like, huh? In his defense, they were talking a lot. Keep it short, sweet, to the point. What colors do y'all have? All right, cut this one. Don't say, well, we had red and blue, and then they had red and gray, and stop. I don't care what everybody had. We don't have time for that. Just tell him what it is. What colors do y'all have? Blank and blank. Okay, boom, cut this one. That's it. So in Michael's defense, they were talking a lot. But Michael, I really feel like that you just did whatever you wanted to do. Like you've been doing on all these challenges. I don't know, y'all. I don't think Michael is the mole because he's been too obvious from day one. He's been doing dumb stuff. Andy called it. He was going right when Andy said left. He threw the first aid kit back into the ocean. Like, Michael is always doing something, very much so something that would make him suspicious, but I feel like that would be too easy to suss out, so it can't be Michael. And keep in mind that everybody, according to the edit anyways, everybody who was suspicious of Michael has been sent home. Let me go back to my thingy-mabob. But Michael, that was so stupid. Andy was suspicious of Michael. Tony was suspicious of Michael. Who was Melissa suspicious of? I gotta go back to my notes. But anybody who said that they were suspicious of Michael, they ended up going home. So I don't think it's Michael. I really don't. That was just a really, really stupid, a really, really stupid thing to do though. So, anyways, they ended up adding $10,000 to the pot. How much money they got now, y'all? How much money they got? Because y'all know this group don't like money. They don't like money at all. 40,000. Okay, they got about $50,000. All right, yeah. And I say it right here. All right. So now on the way back home, as they thought from this challenge, they have I call them moral challenges, social challenges. Boom. So each car has to pick a negotiator. The cars are Michael, Muna, Deanna, and Niche, and then Ryan, Hannah, and Sean. All right. So I like the fact that who said it? I think it was Deanna. Deanna is not afraid to tell people who she don't want. She told Niche, I don't think you will be a good negotiator now. And then later on in the episode, she told Muna, I don't think you need to be. Now, is Deanna just, one of those people who's just super trusting and she's really playing the game, so she's going to vocalize, I don't trust you? Or is she the mole and she knows that Niche, I don't know. I ain't gonna say Niche is trustworthy, but Muna definitely would be somebody who I don't know. But she has no problem telling people who don't need to go where. Okay, so car 1 chooses Muna. Well, Deanna technically chooses Muna, and car 2 chooses Sean because Ryan put Sean on blast about his police officer background. And Hannah obviously had no idea. You know what I think? I think Ryan is too an undercover cop. I think Ryan was in the military or she did special op. I feel like she did something, very much so something, just like Sean there. Do y'all agree? I get that from Ryan. She definitely not just a volleyball coach and stay-at-home mama. I ain't feeling that. I ain't feeling that lie. So Muna and Sean, they go in and they have to negotiate on $50,000 for the group or exemptions. Now, of course, y'all, it's similar to I can't remember what game show it is, but basically, y'all both gotta agree. Oh, the traders, like at the end. If both of y'all choose $50,000, then the group gets $50,000. If one of y'all chooses exemption, then all the money's off the table and that group gets the exemptions. If both of y'all choose exemptions, nobody gets nothing and both of y'all go home empty-handed, right? So they get to actually go back to their cars and talk it over with their groups. I like that. I like to see, okay, what's the game plan going to be? Let's talk it over. So the moment that Sean gets in the car, here goes Hannah, exemption. Oh my God, bro. Hannah, not sweet little Hannah, not self-righteous Hannah, not Miss Hannah that, oh, I started off like that, but I've been so for the challenges lately. Not that Hannah. The moment Sean closed the door, she talking about exemption. So needless to say, Sean's group with Sean, Ryan, and Hannah, they want the exemption. But they want to make it seem like they want the money. Now, back in Muna's car, Muna, Michael, Deanna, and Niche, they want the money. However, they don't trust the other group with the money. So they feel like the other group is going to say exemption. So Niche says, you know what? No matter what, say exemption because we can't trust them. And Muna is like, but I really, really want this money. So it's so funny to me. And my thumbnail just like is so like relevant because from selfish to self-righteous, Muna and Hannah are both, they kicked off this selfish train, but now they're both, oh, I'm so for the money. I'm so for the money and my family. Be quiet. It makes me sick every time I hear it. So Muna doesn't want to listen to her team. She wants to go for the money. So when they go back in, I don't think Muna is a good, you know what? Muna might be a good liar, but she's not a good actor to me. Because just like when they was at the round table with the fortune cookies, it was, Just when Jen called her out at the table on the episode 1, I was like, this girl, she cannot hide. She's a horrible liar and a horrible actress, honestly. But the problem is not the problem. The thing is, in that negotiation, she was being honest. She did want the money, and her team wants the exemptions. And she would have been heartbroken if he chose exemption and she chose the money. She was not lying. She was telling the truth. That's why it looked like she was so feelings involved and blah, 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 blah. Because that's really how she felt. Now, Sean, Ari, I love how he did the dramatic pause. He was like, you know what I think we should... I said, okay, Ari, now you hosting, Ari. So then they go back out to their groups. We find out that Sean chose the exemption, and Muna's group chose the exemption. So she did not go against her group, even though she wanted to, but she could not trust Sean and what he was going to do, and that was the right choice. But guess what? Neither one of them, nobody gets any money nor exemptions. Another wash of a challenge. They could have had, I wrote this down, they could have had $80,000, I think. Yep. Oh, yeah, now we're on, hold on, y'all. My computer doing something crazy. Hold on. Okay, while my computer get its life together, y'all make sure y'all like the make sure y'all like the video. Y'all make sure y'all like the video, okay? On your way in, if you got somewhere to be, on your way out, make sure you like the video. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm on episode 8 now. Yeah. Okay, but is this my last slide? This is my last slide. All right. So episode 8 now. We find out that they could have had $80,000, but because they don't trust each other, they get nothing. Because this group is so selfish, they get nothing. So instead, how much money they got, y'all? I can't remember what I said, but they ain't got no money because they suck. This group is horrible. So now it's time to take the quiz. Oh yeah, so it's time to take the quiz, and this is when Niche calls them out, and I was so here for Niche. I wish people knew how to read like I know how to read, because I'll be on somebody's head. I will be on somebody's head. Okay, so Muna was like, well, Ari said, who's the mole? And Muna said, who's the team player? And I said, not you. This is when Niche pops out and says, well, it's funny because the selfish people, the people who started this selfish train, are still here, minus Tony, Hannah, and Muna. And like I stated earlier, Muna made the first selfish decision episode 1. Nobody ever knew about that one. So he went to the Hannah thing. Hannah and Tony draining the pot of $30,000 for an exemption, Hannah. And you mad because Tony drank the pot of $59K for an exemption? You mad. You big mad. The irony, the gall of you, the hypocrisy of it all. So Muna turns it back on Niche, and she was like, well, you the one who drank the pot for an exemption. Y'all did too. Y'all just mad because I beat y'all at y'all. I put a U on you. I hit y'all with that Uno reverse. See, Niche, boy. But y'all want to know something that's crazy? Niche goes home on this episode. Niche going home on this episode. Okay, let me tell y'all. All right, Niche. Well, Ryan was suspicious of Michael. Hannah is suspicious of Michael and Niche. Niche is suspicious of Hannah. Niche is the one that goes home. I feel like, because I don't think Hannah is the mole. So maybe that's why Niche went home. And everybody is so mad because they're like, he drank the pot and still went home. I'm like, well, duh. That's why he drained the pot, because he needed an exemption, because he didn't know who the who the mole is. Like, he bought himself one more day, literally. Oh man. Do y'all agree with Niche draining the pot for an exemption just to go home the next night? Do y'all agree? I mean, to me, it was a wise choice. Niche going home was his karma for not being loyal to Q. You know what? I can agree with that. Or just not being loyal to himself, because he said he was tired of playing nice guy. He was tired of playing for the group, and he wanted to be selfish. Well, play silly games, win silly prizes. Play silly games, win silly prizes. All right, y'all, we are on the last episode. This challenge was a search and rescue. They had 2 hours and they could win up to a possible $50,000. All right. Here's the problem. They don't know where Ryan and what's that girl name, y'all? Deanna have been put. Okay, so they got to find them. In order to find them, all they have is a map. So they get to make a phone call, a 15-second phone call for $5,000 per phone call. Let's just talk about the errors in this challenge, okay? Sean wanting to make a call right off the back, I 100% agree, because it can at least give us some idea where to look for. I like how Deanna says, well, first off, she was acting like it was a delay on the phone. I was like, why are you answering every 5 seconds? Like, hello, can you hear me? But she gets out that they're near water. So everything that's on land, you need to cross out. Everything that's on land, you need to cross out. But what does the group do? Oh, let's go to this place over here so we can get binoculars and look. Oh my God. A place that's on land. Why are we going on land to look for a place that's on the water? Make it make sense to me. So during this challenge, by the way, Sean is getting suspicious of Hannah because we're just following Hannah blindly. All she's doing is running, and we're just following. Okay. Excuse me. Now, when Ryan answers the phone, oh my gosh, she just started rambling, just talking. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And we're locked up, and I haven't eaten in 5 days. And I'm being dramatic, but I'm like, bro, what are you doing? What are you talking about? She told y'all that y'all only had 15 seconds. So when Ryan finally gets an answer out, she says they're in a red building on the water, maybe a boathouse. Okay. Group is still looking on land. I'm like, what is wrong with them? Are they stupid? They're getting closer to the water, but I'm like, are y'all dumb? So they called one more time, and this is when Ryan answers, and she says that we are near, or I see, because Sean was like, what do you see? Because you just talking. What do you see? Ryan says, I see other houses on stilts, and the land is behind us, and then I see a Big Ben statue. Now, the people who are looking, they are so focused on just this one clue, this Big Ben statue. In my head, I don't care about the Big Ben statue. I'm worried about all the clues we've had prior that will lead us to this location. It's red. It's on water. The land is behind them. Like, who cares about this Big Ben statue? They just focus it. But is it a statue? But is it a statue over there? But is it? Shut up. Worry about all the other stuff. Okay? And if we run into a statue, then we run into a damn statue. A statue on the water? Okay. A Big Ben statue on top of it. Okay. A statue of a clock. Okay. The searchers have to find a key. Everybody's searching the front of the house. Muna goes to the back of the house and she finds a key. They say, is there anything else there? She says no. She runs off. Now, granted, there was nothing else there on that table, but she did not search that entire room. So then, of course, the group has to go back and find the second key, and they literally make it with seconds to spare. All right. In this challenge, like Trust You First says, Is it this challenge that led you to believe that Ryan is the mole? Because she definitely was rambling on that phone. For sure. Now they made a possible they made $35,000 and they now have $85,000 in the pot. Woo! Finally, they could have had that day too. They could have had that day too. Don't worry about going home, Q, because this group ain't gonna make no money no way, bro. You could go on. Q should definitely go on The Trust. Did y'all watch The Trust on Netflix? I would say Q should go on The Trust, but he might be a little bit too nice. They might do him dirty on The Trust. Or he might make it to the end if they watch The Mole too and they know, I can trust Q because he's a trustworthy person. Make sense? The one Hannah saw about the artist doctor. The Guess Who challenge, when Ryan saw Hannah make an error and Ryan didn't correct Hannah or tell the group, that too was suspicious. You don't find that suspicious? All right, so the last part of this episode before I get into my final guesses. Because y'all, oh child. Now that my 3 primary suspects, Deanna, Nisha, and Q, 2 of my primary suspects are gone. I'm back at the drawing board. When I tell y'all I would have been gone home, I would have been gone home. All right, so we have a moral social challenge, and oh my God, y'all, this part made me, if y'all could see let me show y'all my notes. I put group decision on sending one person to Ari. Hannah says it should be someone that's 100% team money. I put 3 laughing emojis, and because I've been on here more than 10 minutes, I put a fucking joke. Girl, bye. Since when are you team? Can y'all see that? A fucking joke. Because since when are you team money? 100%. And she is so stuck on this. I've been team money the past couple of challenges. Girl, we know the real you. You drained the pot of $30,000 on the second day. You were selfish in the game when it wasn't even a time to be selfish in the game yet. You drained the pot of almost $30,000. When Sean got back in the car, the moment the little electric minivan door closed, you talking about exemption. You ain't changed. You have not changed. So surprisingly, they vote Hannah to go meet with Ari. I said, oh, y'all stupid. Oh, y'all dumb. The mole is smart. Wanna know why the mole is smart? Because they know Hannah gonna take an exemption and she ain't gonna add no money to the pot. The mole is smart. Let's talk about that, shall we? Because Sean and Michael admit to Ryan that they do not trust Hannah. Oh, really? But y'all voted for Hannah to go. Well, what's that boy name? Michael voted for Muna. But Sean voted for... Didn't Sean vote for Hannah to go, y'all? Please correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah. So y'all was okay with her going, but behind closed doors, oh, I don't trust her. Well, that don't make no sense to me. That don't make no sense to me. So now she's faced with basically gambling. She gets $20,000, and then Ari presents her with, you can open up another basket for the last exemption of the game, and the mole gave you a hint. It's in basket number 4. So, of course, the episode goes off with Hannah deciding, is she going to gamble the $20,000 that she could take back to the group, or is she going to take the last exemption of the game to herself? And Ari does share that 2 people are going to go home after the next quiz. This right here, this is the time to be selfish. This is when you be selfish. $20,000. We've lost way more than that. But 2 people are going home. Okay, let me go back to my little slide. Oh, 2 people are going home out of 1, 2. Oh, I gotta go back to my little. Okay, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 people left. 2 people are going home. This is when you can be selfish and take an exemption, if you trust what the mole's hint is, because the mole gave you a hint. I would have voted for all the mayonnaise as my. All right, but you know what? Hold on. But this is the time that I would agree with Hannah being selfish, if she is to be selfish. Now, trust you first. Let me tell you something. Okay, so I watched season 1, and this is honestly what's been in my brain as I watch reality TV. I grew up on reality TV. I deep dive into reality TV. I'm movie bae, but I could be movie and reality TV bae. Okay, like I does this. Now the winner of season 1, I was 100% wrong, because it was a black woman. I did not think it was gonna be a black woman this first season. I did not. They tricked me. So for this season, just based off statistics, I honestly don't think that it would be a POC, and I don't think that it would be a woman. I don't, because they did that last season. So with that statistic in my brain, and y'all could call it ignorant, that's fine. But with that statistic in my brain, that's how and of course with what I see on the show, that is how I try to narrow down who I think the mole is. All right. They want Hannah to win, apparently. Who is that? You talk about the group? At this point, I don't know. I have no idea. So y'all, on the screen, I have my final suspects at the end of this episode. Hold on, because first off, y'all know they could have given us all these episodes. They definitely hold us. Okay. But I'm gonna talk about she was horrible the first season. The winner, the person who won the first season, I'm not even gonna hold you. I honestly disregarded, and this is my bias. This is my own personal bias. I said it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be my sister. It was her and another black lady. I said it's not gonna be my sister. It's gonna be the guy. It has to be the guy. It was not. So, hey, let's talk about my who I think is the mole. And then I definitely, of course, I want y'all to drop y'all theories down below. Don't just tell me you think Muna's the mole. Tell me why. You could probably help me, because I want to figure it out this season. I want to figure it out before they figure it out. Okay. These are the people that are gone. I have X's over them. Y'all like my little emojis? I feel like I was doing something. I feel like a detective. Okay. My primary suspects are gone. Nisha and Q are gone. So I only have Deanna. That's what the green is for. Deanna is my primary suspect, but she's my primary suspect for the same reason that Ryan can be. Now, hear me out. Deanna and Ryan are playing 2 very similar games. Low key. Ryan barely makes it into the edit. If we're being honest. And y'all know, if y'all watch season 1, y'all already know that at the end they reveal how the mole sabotaged every challenge. So I feel like it's going to be a low-key person. I honestly do. And they're playing very similar games. The only difference is I really don't know the difference between the 2. I'm really stuck on it not being a woman this season. I'm not even going to hold you. But so that moves me to my next point. Out of the men, between Michael and Sean, I'm thinking Sean, because Michael, too many people guessed Michael. And like I said, everybody who's suspicious of Michael has gone home. So I'm going to go with Sean. Even though it still would kind of be like blatant, honestly. I don't know, y'all. I think my 2 strongest will probably be Deanna or Ryan. Now, Hannah has a question mark. Let me tell y'all why Hannah has a question mark. Hannah has a question mark for me simply because I was on that girl's Instagram page and I saw something that I don't know if I should have saw. I said, but hold on, don't they sue people for spoiling the end? I'll say that. So I don't know who to trust. I don't know who I don't know who or what to trust at this point. So with that being said, I really don't think Deanna did enough sabotage to be a mole. She's been a bad player, but no active sabotage. Okay, so Hermit, hear me out. And this is why I chose Deanna initially, because she's low key. Okay, so the first challenge, she said she's a follower. And that's easy for a mole to do, to just simply follow. Yeah, in the group, in especially in this particular group, they will sabotage themselves. So the same thing I was thinking about with Q, I feel like Deanna could possibly do it too. But honestly, Deanna and Ryan, they go hand in hand for me. Deanna and Ryan go hand in hand for me. Yeah. I think Deanna playing the back could be her mole play, but Ryan is doing the same thing. And if I think about sabotage in challenges, I can only think about Ryan. I can only think about Ryan during the Guess Who challenge and during this last challenge. Those two were kind of like, okay, now, girl, you know. The only other thing I can think of is going back to day one when Ryan hit the last intruder with the very last paintball pellet. You know what I'm saying? That's when I thought she was like special op or something. And two, maybe the mole did that so no new people will come into the game, because you know they ain't gonna put no new moles in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been a person that's innocent that everybody would know is not the mole already. I'm kind of talking myself into Ryan a little bit. Who do y'all think the mole is? We have 2 more episodes. Like I said, they honestly could have dropped it all today. They really hold us with this. They really hold us with this. They definitely could have dropped all 5 episodes, but I'll come back next Friday. Let me see if I got something to do next Friday, because if not next Friday, next Saturday for sure. Next Friday, I ain't got nothing to do. Nope, might be busy Saturday. So yeah, I'll be back next Friday, probably the same time, 5:30 Central Time, no later than 6 probably, to talk about it. To talk about our season finale on who the mole is. Drop your thoughts, opinions, and comments in the comment section down below. Did you expect Niche to drain the pot? How do you feel about Q going home? What do y'all think about all the self-righteous talk between Hannah and Muna, especially on this episode? And of course, most importantly, who do you think the mole is? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.